Good afternoon, Doctor and everyone. My name is Lin Yun. It's my honor to introduce my group members today. They are Liu Yu, Wang Cong, Chen Jingwen, and Zhang Ruobin. The topic of our presentation is curriculum implementation, and there are 5 parts in our presentation. They are implementation model, strategies, change process of implementation, effect of implementation and evaluation, and conclusion. First, I'd like to make some explanation to the curriculum implementation. Next page. Next page. Curriculum implementation is not an event, but a change process. In this stage, where all the product of conceptualization will be put to test and applied, as defined by Locke and Lieberman in 1983, curriculum implementation is the trying out of a new practice and what it looks like when actually used in a school system. Next page. I have looked through several models of curriculum implementation, but I am unable to capture the essence of them. So I just pick out those 3 models I can understand better and share them with you honestly. Number 1 is the RCA model. Number 2 is the ORC model. Number 3, LOC model. Next page. Now let's move to the first model, RCA model. This model is based on the assumption that the success of the implementation of a new program depends on the characteristics of the proposed change, the competencies of the teaching and the administrative staff, the support of the local community, the school organization strategies. Next page. RCA model suggests that organizational dynamic seems to be the chief barriers to change. It puts forward the following 3 stages in the change process. Initiation. At this stage, the curriculum developers work to secure the support for the anticipated change. To support the change such as a new program, people must understand and agree that it is legitimate. Thus, curriculum implementation activity requires the personal backing of the individuals involved. For example, at this stage, we should inform the teachers about the need for change and how it might take place. The implementation. At this stage, the proposed change, that is, the new programs and the organizational structure, are adjusted to operationalize the change. The last one is the incorporation. During this stage, the changes implemented became part of the established program, and the program implemented is provided with the necessary personnel and financial support. Next page. The second model is ORC model. This model rests on the assumption that the success of otherwise curriculum implementation primarily depends on the impact the developer makes on the users of a curriculum, such as teachers, students, and society in general. If we desire change, then we must address people's misgivings and misapprehensions or other such related factors. Next page. This model emphasizes that if we would like to implement change, we must resolve people's apprehensions and doubt. We can group the concerns into the following 4 stages and concerns. Number 1, unrelated concerns. At this stage, teachers do not perceive a relationship between themselves and suggested changes. Number two, personal concerns. At this stage, the teacher will react to the innovation in relation to their personal situation. They consult with how the new program compares to the one already in use. Number three, task-related concerns. This stage relates to the actual use of the innovation. The teacher at this stage will be concerned with the time required for teaching and the new program availability of materials, strategies to be adopted, etc. Number four, impact-related concerns. The teacher at this stage will be concerned with how the innovation will influence others. When working with the ORC model, we must deal directly with the concerns at stage 2, 3, and 4 in order to serve the purpose for which the change is effected. Next page. LOC model is the last model. This model treats staff resistance to change as problematic and proposed that we should collect data to determine the extent and nature of the resistance in implementing the curriculum. This can be carried out by the following. Clear understanding of the change must be relayed. Relevant skills must be provided to individuals. Necessary materials and resources must be available. Revision of organizational structure must be done if necessary. Participants of the innovation must be motivated. Next page. As in RCA and ORC models, it puts forward the following three stages in the change process. Initiation, and number two is attempted implementation. The last one is incorporation. We should note here that implementation obstacles solve at one point at a time. Using this model may arise again at another point. Therefore, this model has a feedback and monitoring mechanism to determine if problems once solved keep reappearing, and so on. Next page. Finally, we can discuss this question: what implementation model to use. The choice of what implementation model to use depends on such factors as level of resistance, the type of the desired change, the available expertise, the available resources. The urgency of the situation would be the best. Next page. This is my major references of my presentation. That's all for my presentation. Next, let's welcome my friend Chen Jinwen give her presentation.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm going to move on the strategies for curriculum implementation, about which there are two different categories. Next page, please. The first one is Chen and Ben's curriculum implementation strategies, and the next is Monel curriculum implementation strategies. So next page, please. So Chen and Ben's curriculum implementation strategies, which are considered to have the following three basic tasks. So next page, please. The first one is empirical rational strategies. This strategy believes that people are rational and that if implementers are covering that reform is rational, they will calmly and implement it. It emphasizes the ability of the implementer and the subjective urgency of the need for change. And the next one is power coercive strategies. This strategy requires individuals to calmly with their ways of this in positions of power in the system. Although this strategy is rarely used directly in schooling, we can often see those in high places forcing people to accept new programs by offering various material or symbolic rewards. The finally is normative reductive strategy. This strategy views people's reasoning as a product of society and culture, influenced by their attitude, beliefs, values, and contextual and interpersonal interactions, and resulting in changes in behavior. So next page, please. So next is manual curriculum implementation strategies. Next page, please. So the first one is top-down strategies. The strategy is highly technical in nature. Curriculum change is initiated by educational institutions at the national or local level, and implementation emphasizes the alignment of other factors in the school with the change, without which such technical changes are difficult to our sustain. So in this strategy, there have two different forms. The first one is research and development model, and the other types of the implementation strategy is multi-factor strategy. So next page, please. So next one is bottom-up strategy. In this strategy, the change urgency tries to introduce change by teachers examining the problem in the school and thus becoming innovators, so that teachers are individuals are the initiators for change. Next page, please. Finally, mid-up strategy. In contrast to the first two strategies, this strategy takes a middle course. It argues that top-down strategies rely too much on external rewards and that bottom strategies must be projected on individual or group preference or change. Yet the fact is that school cultures are always relatively conservative and reluctant to initiate change. So this strategy assists that the school is the most appreciated institution to initiate change. The school must be the main agent of curriculum implementation, both by drawing factors with those outside the school to promote innovation and by creating the conditions for teachers to participate in change. So that's all my part. So next, welcome my partner Liu Ru to her presentation.
Okay, hello everyone, I'm Liu Ru. My part is change process. Okay, next page, please. Definition, as the previous classmates told us, what is the curriculum implementation? It simply means that implementation should bring the desired change and improve. Okay, next page, please. Concept of change. Change is a constant law of nature. It brings improvements. Change is an ongoing process. Not all change leads to improvement, but all improvement requires change. The ability to develop, test, and implement changes is essential for any individual, group, organization that wants to continuously improve. Okay, next page. Features of change. It is a process, not an event. It requires time, energy, and resources. It is achieved incrementally and entails development in feelings and skills. Okay, next page. Process of curriculum change. Permissive research and encouragement and live with a beneficial curriculum development may be helpful. People adapt as a result of changing curriculum. It must be necessary in consideration that resources of implementation of curriculum are available or not. Okay, next page. Categories of curriculum change. Substitution. Substitution occurs when a new element substitutes the other, which is already present, such as teachers are required to substitute a new textbook for an old one. Alteration. Alteration exists when new content, items, materials, or procedures are added up into existing materials and programs. The changes usually are minor, and thus schools usually can adapt it instantly. Perturbations. Perturbations are changes that may at first interrupt the existing program, but later they can be attuned accordingly by teachers to the ongoing program within a short time span. Restructuring. Restructuring occurs when the changes modify the whole school system, such as school introduce a new curriculum to their teachers and pupils. The changes demand the teachers adopt new concepts of the teaching role, new curriculum content, and new textbooks. Value orientation. Value orientation changes take place when teachers or school staff are sought to adopt the new fundamental philosophies or curriculum orientations. The changes could occur if only they are willing to accept new values. Otherwise, the changes will be short-lived. Okay, next page. Curriculum implementation as a change process. The illustration below shows that there are driving forces on the left and resisting forces on the right. If you look at the illustration, there is equilibrium. If the driving force is equal to the restraining force, will change happen? Do you think there will be curriculum change in this situation, and why? Okay, next page. Important elements in the process of change, regardless of the kind of change in curriculum and implementation. The process of change may contain three important elements. As a process, curriculum implementation should be developmental, participatory, and supportive. Okay, next page. Generalization. Implementation requires adjusting personal habits, ways of behaving, program emphasis, learning spaces, and existing curricular and schedule. It also requires time, efforts, energy, and resources in order to achieve the goals. On the other hand, the curriculum needed to change because our world is constantly changing, and students needed to be able to change with it. Okay, that's on my part. Next is welcome to my partner, Zhang Ruobing. Sorry. Next is welcome to my partner, Wang Song.
Okay, thanks for my partner's introduction. Next, I will introduce my topic, which is effect of implementation and evaluation. Okay, before starting, I want to tell you a story because the story can help you to understand my topic. Okay, let's take a look. In a primary school in a remote area, due to local economic conditions, the school cannot afford to hire good teachers. So almost all the teachers only had a secondary school diploma, and they didn't have good teaching methods. It resulted in students' grades are very bad. So later, because poor teaching conditions, this primary school attracted the attention of the local government. Therefore, the local government dispatched a group of excellent and experienced teachers to evaluate and reform the curriculum. The new teacher provides students with more meaningful learning experience and improves their teaching methods and textbooks through reflections. So in the first year, the school got significant improvement with improvements in students' academic performance and participation. Teachers found students like this more practical and interest learning experience, and they can also more willing to express their thoughts and opinions in the classroom. In the second year, the school continued to use the best methods in the implementation stage, and evaluation, the school has once again achieved remarkable results. The students' interest and confidence in learning had greatly improved, and their evaluation of the school was also more positive. So through this example, you can see how important a good curriculum implementation is. It plays an important role in students' learning and life. So a good curriculum implementation requires multiple evaluation of its effectiveness. After repeated judgment, a good curriculum implementation can bring remarkable results. So my topic will include 4 aspects. The number 1 is what's the curriculum implementation, and number 2, the importance of curriculum implementation, and number 3 is the effect of evaluation. The number 4, I will make a conclusion to summarize my topic today. Okay, the first topic is what's curriculum implementation. Curriculum implementation is a process of turning the curriculum plan into actual teaching activities. It is a process in which the teacher designs and arranges teaching methods, teaching resources, teaching evaluation according to the course objectives and content, and then teach with students in the classroom to achieve the course objectives. So, for example, my undergraduate major is computer science, and my teachers or professors told me how to make a computer software and write computer codes. So, if the goal of the course is to enable students to learn the basic concept of computer programming, like writing code and make a computer software, then course implementation is how the teacher organize and topics, process, exercise, feedback of programming, and how to use computers, networks, software to help teaching. And number 3, how to test students' learning outcomes through examination, assignments, and so on. So the next part is the importance of curriculum implementation. Curriculum implementation is a key link in the teaching process, which determines whether the curriculum objectives can be effectively achieved. The time is limited, so I have to skip the top example. If you are interested in the example, you can read the example again back. So the importance of curriculum implementation is reflected the 4 aspects. And number 1, ensure the effectiveness of the course. And number 2, verify course objectives. And number 3, enhancing the participation of teachers and students. And number 4, improving course design. So teachers and students are the main subjects of learning, and the implementation stage also has a profound impact on them. So first, for students, the implementation stage is a crucial period for their learning. And this stage, students can learn and apply the knowledge, skills, and concepts in the course, as well as the ability to solve problems and make decisions in real life. If the implementation stage is appropriate, students can reflect and improve their learning in practice, thereby improving learning outcomes and effectiveness. So for teachers, the implementation stage is also an important period for them to reflect and improve their teaching ability. During the implementation phase, teachers can adjust teaching methods and course content based on students' feedback and actual performance in order to better meet students' needs and improve the effectiveness of the course. Okay, also the time is limited, so I have to skip an example. So for students, this example shows that a good course implementation can enable them to acquire knowledge, which not only solve problems in life, but also stimulates their interest in learning, help students understand abstract concepts, evaluate, cultivate their thinking ability, promote innovative thinking, and enable them to learn and reflect, thereby improving learning outcomes. So it can be seen that the implementation stage plays an important role, especially in the 5 key points. And number 1, achieving course and teaching objectives. And number 2, improving teaching efficiency. And number 3, helping students in developing practical and learning abilities. And number 4, meeting the needs of students. And number 5, enhancing students' interest in learning. Okay, the next part is effect of evaluation. So what's the evaluation? We always like to evaluate and quantify something or an object in our daily life, such as how much is a t-shirt, how much is a phone, how far is the Earth from the moon. So for education, we also need to evaluate, and the curriculum needs to be evaluated. Whether it is good or bad, we also need to evaluate. So evaluating the implementation of the course is beneficial, especially in the 5 aspects. And number 1, it can confer whether the goals have been achieved. And number 2, it can improve course quality. And number 3, it can promote education reform. And number 4, it can improve teaching effectiveness. And number 5, it can understand students' learning situation. So through evaluation, we can find out whether the course content is suitable for the level of students, whether there is enough interaction and practice, whether it can stimulate students' interest and motivation, and then make corresponding adjustments and improvements based on the evaluation results. Okay, the last part is conclusions. So just like the rural primary school I mentioned earlier, the school continues to use best methods in implementation and evaluation, and the school has once again achieved remarkable results. The students' interest and confidence in learning have greatly improved. So from my introduction to curriculum implementation and evaluation above, you can see that there is an interactive relationship between implementation and evaluation. At the first, curriculum implementation refers to the process of teaching abilities according to the curriculum objectives and plans, organization, and implementation. And number 2, curriculum evaluation is an inspection and evaluation, and it evaluates and inspects the effectiveness of course implementation to determine whether the goals has been achieved and make necessary adjustments and improvement. So through the combination of the 2 methods can achieve a best results. So, as the teachers in the future, we should be good at identifying and correcting problems in a timely manner. Should the obligation to cultivate talents and promote the development of human education. You know, a child has only one childhood, and a happy childhood is precious for the lifetime. So creating a happy childhood for every child is a shared responsibility of every educational participant, so that every child can enjoy the beauty of this world. Okay, this is my topic. Next, let my partner to introduce the next part.
Hello everyone, I'm Zhang Rubing. Next, I will tell you review what our group covered today. We are talking about the 4 parts. Next page, please. 1, implementations model. 2, strategies. 3, change process. 4, in fact. Next page. First, we recognize 3 basic models of curriculum implementations. The change agent research model, the overcoming resistance to change model, and the leadership varied curriculum models. Next page. First, the achievement of successful RCA model implementations depends on the 4 points, which requires the 3 steps to accomplish. Next page. Next page. The LOC model, which views the improved sentences as a problem and suggests selecting data to understand its extent and the nature, depends on these 5 points. Next page. And again requires 3 steps to complete. Next one. and the ORC model, which focus on the addressing people's concern and incorporating their wills and beliefs into the curriculum, is broken down into these 4 steps. Next one, please. In terms of the strategies, we recognize 2 strategies. One is the action and the business curriculum implementation strategies, which are considered to have 3 base types. Secondary, JD Minus curriculum implementation strategies. There are also 3 base types. Next one. Then change in the curriculum implementations. It needs to support slow problems, provide resource, and monitor the implementation process to achieve successful curriculum change. Next one. We also discover how to choose which implementation model to use. Next one. Time of the curriculum change. Next one. Map of curriculum change. Next one. The importance of curriculum reform. And next one. And the challenges. Next one. To effectively implement curriculum change, it is important to remind the realistic about time, the support, and the resource. Identify pioneers and innovators. Follow for different level to participations, define non-negotiable path route allowing for the choice. Promote event work, address staff training and development, and promote open communications. Next one. In general, firstly, assessment helps to confirm whether the state objectives are achieved during the course of the curriculum implementations. Secondly, treatments can help improve the quality of the curriculum. Third, treatment promotes educational reform. Fourth, assessments helps to improve teaching and learning. Finally, assessment can help us understand student learning. Thus, by the assessment's curriculum implementation, we can continuously improve and enhance the quality of a curriculum, promote education reform, improve teaching and learning effectiveness, and better understand student learning. Next one. Our curriculum implementation is important for achieving educational goals, guiding teaching and learning activity, facilitating student learning, adapting to the diversity of student needs, and assignment and feedback. It is a key component in translating educational ideas into practical action and essential for the providing quality educations. That's all for presentations. Thank you for your listening.
Okay, thank you for your patient listening. Next is the question and answer section. If you are interested in or have any question about the certain part of our presentation, you are welcome to ask questions. Both my friends and I are happy to answer your question. Thank you.